On July 4th, 2012, I was driving at 11:30 at night, and I got a phone call, and I knew that my sister passed away. And through this experience, I have learned to trust Jesus more. I have learned more about his character and who he is, and I have learned more about this world too, and how fading it is. When I was 5, my mom told me that I was going to have a little sister, and I was so excited because then that meant that I got to have like a real life doll. It was so fun growing up with Adrian. She was definitely a character too. She was always the loud one. I was always the one who was quieter and more reserved. And Adrian would always follow me around growing up. She really looked up to me, and I was her big sister. And but when she got to, I think it was her freshman year of high school, I think it switched. It was the other way around, where I would always follow her and I would always want to be around her. And I really loved being with her and talking to her and knowing what was going on in her life. On the 4th of July, my sister and I went shopping together. Spending that time with her was so incredible, and I love that she asked me to come with her. Usually it was the other way around. Usually it was me who was like, Adrian, let's hang out. And but she came into my room and was like, hey, Justine, do you want to go do this with me? Do you want to go do this with me? And I was like, sure. And so that was really cool. And so then we all ate dinner together as a family, and then Adrian left for her friend's house. They were planning to go downtown to watch fireworks. I spent the rest of the evening with my parents and then drove back to my apartment. As I was driving, I was about to turn onto Big Bend to get to my apartment. I live in U City. And my dad called and said, hey, Justine, you need to come home right now. And I was like, Dad, what's wrong? And he was like, Justine, just come home right now. And so I hung up the phone, and immediately I knew that something was wrong with Adrian. And so I get home and I pull into the driveway and I run into the house, and my dad's standing there in the foyer. He told me her and her friends decided to stay at her friend's house that night. While she was there, Adrian committed suicide. I was completely shocked, because while I thought something had been wrong with Adrian, I never, ever expected for it to be that. It just didn't seem like her at all. It was so out of the blue. I know that it was a mistake, and I know that it was impulsive, and I know that if she had another chance, she wouldn't do what she did. That day we were talking about what colleges she wanted to go to and what she wanted to major in, and she had a lot to look forward to. And so I think that loss was something that I've been grieving too, is everything that Adrian is going to miss in life. When this happened, my first instinct was to be incredibly angry at my sister, at God, at everyone. I turned to Job, who struggled with a lot of the same questions that I struggle with, is just why? Why does bad stuff happen? And why is there evil? And in Job 1:20, it says, Job arose, tore his robe, and fell on the ground and worshipped. And I want that to be my response with my sister's death. I want to mourn, and I want to worship. I don't want to diminish the pain that Adrian's death has caused me, but I want to worship. He knows what it's like to suffer. He sacrificed himself for us. And I'm just so overwhelmed by that. We live in this broken world, and so our heart breaks for the things that happen. But we get to rejoice in the fact that this isn't it, that this isn't what we're living for. We're living for another world. We're living for something greater. And we get to spend eternity with Jesus, and I get to spend eternity with my sister. And I'm excited for that. And that brings me a lot of joy.